This is your weekly report on corruption in the Philippine government. A land transportation office official here was sacked for drunk driving on Tuesday, the 10th of June. Police said the official was involved in a vehicular accident with another government official on Legada Road at around 9:10 p.m. They were invited to discuss the incident at the police station, but the LTO official allegedly became arrogant before investigators, prompting lawmen to take him to the hospital for an alcohol breath test which turned out positive. Mayor Benjamin Magalong here criticized the LTO official's behavior. "I deplore this kind of arrogant behavior. It goes against the principle of good governance. Government officials should lead by example, and this official clearly did not subscribe to that guidepost." Magalong said the incident was unfortunate as the city government is finding solutions to curb the rising trend of vehicle traffic incidents. The LTO official has been relieved from his post. "I commend Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon and Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board Regional Director Glenn Dumalau for their prompt decision to remove the said official and that the said incident is being investigated." The LTO official faces a case for violation of Republic Act 105/86 or the Anti-Drunk and Drug Driving Act of 2013. The Office of the Ombudsman has found Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia guilty of indirect contempt after she refused to heed the preventive suspension issued against her. Documents released by the Office of the Ombudsman on Friday showed Ombudsman Samuel Martires signing the order, which also imposes a fine of 30,000 pesos against Garcia. Last April, the Office of the Ombudsman confirmed that an order to suspend Garcia for a maximum of 6 months preventively was issued to allow investigators to start their probe of the allegedly anomalous permit she granted to a construction firm that had no environment clearance. Despite this, Garcia repeatedly said that she is not stepping down despite the preventive suspension order. According to Garcia, she was not defying the ombudsman's order but was following the advice of her lawyers to remain in office since the order was issued during the election period that banned any suspension of officials without approval from the Commission on Elections. Martires, however, believes Garcia's actions disrupt the orderly administration of justice and infringe upon the constitutionally entrenched powers of the ombudsman. Indeed, your contemptuous refusal to comply with the preventive suspension order disrupts the orderly administration of justice and infringes upon the constitutionally entrenched powers of the ombudsman. As well, your failure to comply with the preventive suspension order constitutes disrespect and insubordination. Plain and simple, Martires said in the order dated the 10th of June. This behavior undermines not only the integrity of the Office of the Ombudsman, but more grievously, the very rule of law itself. As the head of the provincial government of Cebu, you are expected to lead by example and serve as a role model of accountability and lawful conduct to your constituents, he added. Last May, Garcia, who lost in her re-election bid during the 2025 midterm elections, said that she will be able to complete her term in office up to the end of June, after she secured a temporary restraining order that stopped the Office of the Ombudsman from carrying out her 6-month preventive suspension. A resolution from the Court of Appeals Special 17th Division in Manila dated the 15th of May granted a 60-day TRO that would allow Garcia to officially end her term at noon on the 30th of June. A policeman fatally shot his neighbor during an argument on Friday morning, the 13th of June, in Barangay 6, Tuburan Town, Cebu Province. Police Staff Sergeant Florent Paracho Hoyle, an operative of the Investigation and Detective Management Unit of the Cebu City Police Office, surrendered after the incident. Police identified the fatality as Leo Virgil Finsuco. Police Captain Don Blaine Tabares, Information Officer of the Cebu Police Provincial Office, said a group of men was having a drinking session when a drunk Hoyle arrived. An argument between the policeman and the group broke out. The argument escalated when Hoyle slapped one of the men. A melee erupted. As punches were thrown, the policeman drew a gun and fired a warning shot to the ground. The group of men ran after hearing the gunshot. Police said the suspect gave chase and went to the victim's house. Once inside the house, Hoyle shot the victim in the head. According to the investigator of the Tuburan police, it looked like a mistaken identity. The suspect may have thought that the victim was one of those whom he got into a fight with, said Tabares. The suspect surrendered to his colleagues who responded to the crime scene. He surrendered a loaded caliber Colt 45. The policeman, detained at the Tuburan police station, is facing murder and physical injury charges, police said. Mayor Ronald Allen Sesond of Dalaguit, along with Vice Mayor William Laguhit, Municipal Councillor Kevin Belandez and 9 other officials, have been slapped with a 6-month preventive suspension by the Office of the Ombudsman. The other officials preventively suspended are Municipal Engineer Expedicitus Lenas, Zoning Officer 2 Essender Amprat, Administrative Aide 6 Claire Backler, Local Legislative Staff Officer 2 Lol Fajardo, Municipal Budget Officer Brenda Vergara, Municipal Government Department Head 1 Donald Abraham Lara and Administrative Assistant 5 Christina Miranda. The suspension stems from motions for preventive suspension filed by complainants Jose Rene Moran and Braulio Moran on the 23rd of April, 2025. They expressed fear that the respondents might tamper with official documents or influence town hall employees amidst charges of grave abuse of authority, grave misconduct, dishonesty and conduct prejudicial to the best interest of the service. The case originated from the unauthorized construction of an overpriced warehouse in 2023. The structure was built on a 4,000 square meter titled lot belonging to the heirs of the late Maria Zambrano family. The construction occurred without the owner's knowledge or consent, and no deed of conveyance was executed in favor of the municipality of Dalaguit. There has also been no prior expropriation case involving the lot. Ombudsman Samuel Martires, finding sufficient grounds to grant complainant's motion, signed the 6-page preventive suspension order on the 2nd of June, adding that the order is immediately executory. On the 2nd of May, the complainants, upon filing their complaint, told reporters their actions were not politically motivated nor backed by any politicians, contrary to the mayor's accusations that the case filing occurred during the election period. The complainants added that while the actual estimated cost of the allegedly overpriced warehouse was over 3 million pesos, it reached 8 million pesos. Before the 12th of May midterm election, Cessant and several officials face multiple complaints from various complainants over alleged violations of anti-corruption laws, filed by the National Bureau of Investigation 7 and concerned citizens. Cessant and his fellow respondents allegedly implemented an irregular road repair and concreting project worth 9.65 million pesos along MLK Street in Barangay Poblacion. This was the second complaint filed by the NBI-7 on the 28th of March, after they discovered that a private contractor still collected payments despite the municipal government having carried out the project itself. Cessant expressed frustration over not receiving details of the charge against him, implying political motivations ahead of the May elections. On the 11th of October, 2024, NBI-7 filed complaints before the Ombudsman Visayas against Cessant and other officials for allegedly allowing government equipment and employees to work under a private contractor, which resulted in the death of one person. More than 1,800 senior citizens in Dalaguit also filed a complaint before the Ombudsman Visayas on November 28, 2024, against Cessant and another municipal official for allegedly excluding them from cash assistance earlier that year. Cessant sought re-election but lost the mayoral race. His running mate, Vice Mayor Laguhit, however, won. On November 15, 2015, then Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales suspended Cessant for 9 months for directly and indirectly having financial and material interest in any transaction that requires the approval of his office. In 2017, the Ombudsman again suspended Cessant over the sinking of a fishing boat during the onslaught of a typhoon. He was found guilty of simple misconduct and neglect of duty for being directly responsible for the sinking of the boat owned by complainants. 8 chiefs of police in the National Capital Region were relieved from their posts for failing to comply with the Philippine National Police's order to respond to emergency calls within 5 minutes. PNP Chief General Nicholas Torre III announced on Monday the relief of the officers, warning that more will soon face the same disciplinary action. Torre said the affected chiefs of police were from Caloocan, Navas, Valenzuela, Mandaluyong, Marikina, San Juan, Parañaque and Makati. No other details about them were provided. We already relieved 8, and there will be more because I was there in Central Visayas yesterday in Iloilo and we issued caution to the provincial directors, Torre said in an interview after the flag-raising ceremony at the Quezon City Hall. Torre also said more police officers will be relieved and more positions will be open to those who will be qualified to meet the PNP standards. We will declare those positions open, so we will give chances to those who are interested and qualified to comply with the standards, Torre noted. Torre explained that the decision to relieve the officials is not about the radio itself but about accomplishing the mission. He added that the 5-minute response will not be fulfilled without command from the COPs. I want them to actually command, not only figuratively but literally. They can issue the command over the radio or in a communication that they prefer, Torre said. The PNP has set the emergency response time at 5 minutes in pilot areas in Metro Manila. Tor earlier said that the 5-minute response time will be cut to 3 minutes within the next 3 months. When previously asked about the sanctions police officers will face if they fail to respond to the 5-minute target, Tor answered, "Their bodies will hurt. I have trained them, and we will make sure that they will comply with it. So drill, 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 and more drills will be the key." Two officials of the Land Transportation Office in Region 2 were sacked for allegedly physically assaulting two individuals at a karaoke lounge in Cagayan, Department of Transport Secretary Vince Dizon said on Monday. Dizon named the two LTO officials as Assistant Regional Director of LTO Region 2 Manuel Baricor and Chief Enforcer Charles Ursulum. These two were immediately relieved from duty, and I wrote to the Office of the President, to Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, seeking for the permanent removal of the Assistant Regional Director of Region 2. Dizon, speaking in Filipino, said in a press conference. According to a statement from the Police Regional Office 2 on Saturday, the incident occurred on the 4th of June, with victims identified as Vanessa, a 20-year-old singer, Ray, a 15-year-old individual, and Toffa, a 20-year-old. The PRO2 reported that Vanessa was forced to stay beside the regional director, and despite Vanessa and her mother's defiance, she was still ordered to do so. The PRO2 added that the two officials went to Ray and Toffa and slapped them for no reason. I have asked Assistant Secretary Vigor Mendoza to reach out to the victims, and to assist in any way in the filing of charges. I would assume physical assault charges against these two people, Dizon added. Dizon also said that no investigation was needed, as the viral video already showed that the two individuals were physically assaulted. According to the PRO2, a formal complaint was submitted to the city's prosecutor's office last the 13th of June and will be endorsed to the office of the prosecutor on the 16th of June. Meanwhile, Dizon expressed gratitude to the citizens who uploaded the incident on social media. One of the viral videos has already garnered over 9,000 reactions, 4,000 comments, and 8,000 shares on Facebook. To our constituents, if you see any problem or abuse related to public transport, upload it immediately, he said. Dizon told netizens that they should not be scared or hesitate to report incidents involving officials of DOTR and its other attached agencies. He also urged them to tag the DOTR and its attached agencies on their videos. You will not be caught up with this. Don't be afraid. This is a way to protect you, he added. Two female airport personnel were apprehended for allegedly extorting money from a female Chinese national during an entrapment operation at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 1. Airport Police Chief Colonel Bing Jose said that two airport personnel were demanding 850,000 pesos from the foreigner in exchange for security from being deported along with her nephew who recently arrived in the country. Jose said the airport personnel agreed to reduce the amount to 400,000 pesos, but the incident was reported to the airport police by the female Chinese. This resulted in the arrest of the two female airport personnel. Jose said that they are now readying the charges against the two suspects. The Quezon City Police District now has a person of interest who could be behind the killing of a 63-year-old official of the House of Representatives during his daughter's birthday party in Barangay Commonwealth, Quezon City on Sunday, the 15th of June. According to the QCPD, the incident occurred at around 2:55 p.m. when two unidentified suspects entered the party venue and shot the victim at close range. The victim was identified as Mauricio Pulhin, Chief of Technical Staff of the Committee on Ways and Means at the House of Representatives. Pulhin was rushed to the FEUNRMF hospital but was declared dead on arrival. The suspects fled the scene on a motorcycle, firing at a subdivision security guard as they escaped. Police officers from Batasan Police Station 6 and members of the scene of the crime operatives responded to the incident. Our victim is an employee of the chamber. We are currently investigating the motive for this crime. We responded immediately and rushed the victim to the hospital, but he was dead on arrival. Batasan Police Station Commander Colonel Rommel Avenido said, there was a birthday party. Around 12 noon this riding in tandem entered gate 2 of the subdivision and by 2:55 p.m. the shooting happened, and that's where they exited through gate 1. After they shot our victim, when they exited through gate 1, they shot at the guardhouse there, he added. Avenido also said that the suspect surrendered a lost ID of a different person to gain entry into the subdivision. This crime was well planned. They really studied this place carefully, so they used a fake ID and left it behind when they escaped. We immediately identified, located, and put under police custody the owner of the ID that was left there at the guardhouse, only to find out that his ID had been missing for a long time, which is 2 years ago, Colonel Avenido said. He also said that they already have a possible person of interest, but the investigation is still ongoing. They are also gathering CCTV footage in the area to help track down the plate number of the getaway vehicle of the suspects. A local court has denied bail to 3 police officers accused of the 2020 killing of Spanish businessman Diego Bello Lafuente. In an order dated the 27th of May, the Manila Regional Trial Court Branch 1 rejected the bail petitions of Police Captain Wise Vicente Panulas, Police Staff Sergeant Ronald Pazo and Police Staff Sergeant Nido Boy Cortez. The court said the evidence against the accused is strong. All told, the prosecution was able to prove that evidence of guilt against all accused is strong. At this point, the defense that Lafuente fired at the accused in the course of a buy-bust operation and that the latter retaliated to secure their safety remains a mere version of the accused. The decision read, on the 17th of March, 2022, charges of murder under the revised penal code and planting of evidence under Republic Act No. 105/91 were filed against Pazo, Cortez, and Panulas at the Regional Trial Court of Surigao del Norte, Branch 31. The same court received a return of warrant of arrest on the 6th of February, 2023, from the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, indicating that the 3 individuals had voluntarily surrendered to their unit. Subsequently, during their arraignment on the 1st of March, 2023, all 3 pleaded not guilty to the charges. The 3 then filed their respective motions for bail in the 20th of October 23, arguing that the evidence of guilt against them was not strong. Contrary to their claim, the court found that the evidence against the 3 officers was strong. According to the court, all accused admitted in their affidavits that they were present at the crime scene and actively participated in the buy-bust operation against Lafuente, playing specific roles. Also, the police officers claim that Lafuente died in an armed encounter was contradicted by the National Bureau of Investigation. Testimonial and forensic evidence proved that the death of Lafuente did not result from an armed encounter, despite the established fact that Lafuente's hand and .45 caliber that he supposedly fired both tested positive for gunpowder nitrates. The court's ruling read, the court gave credence to the NBI's findings, which were based on a collective investigation including the Philippine National Police scene of the crime operatives and Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. NBI investigators even reenacted the incident, considering the accused's narratives. However, when correlated with affidavits from other witnesses and forensic evidence, the court said that there was no shootout scenario. When correlated with the affidavits of other witnesses, particularly Antepasado and Palomar, and forensic evidence such as the triangular formation of the 3 pieces of the .45 caliber pistol together with the 6 pieces of the fired cartridge from 9mm caliber from the firearms of police Captain Panulas and Police Staff Sergeant Cortez, it was concluded that there was no firefight scenario. The court's decision read, the court also found strong evidence of conspiracy among the accused, even for Pazo, despite no fired cartridges being recovered from his issued firearm. The court likewise finds his guilt strong as the prosecution was able to prove conspiracy among the accused. Police Staff Sergeant Pazo was not only in the crime scene, as he himself admitted, his paraffin test likewise yielded positive result. The court's ruling read, dismissed policeman and vlogger Francis Steve Fontillas, who criticized President Marcos over the arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte, was arrested yesterday in Quezon City. Fontillas was arrested based on a warrant issued by Quezon City Regional Trial Court Branch 224 Judge Zita Maria Teenza Fajardo for inciting to sedition in relation to Republic Act 101/75, the Cybercrime Prevention Act. The court recommended bail of 36,000 pesos for his temporary liberty. A complaint for sedition was filed against Fontillas over his Facebook posts about toppling the Marcos administration following the arrest of Duterte on the 11th of March. Fontillas has been dismissed from the service for grave misconduct, conduct unbecoming of a police officer and disloyalty to the government. A Davao City police officer has been arrested and is facing dismissal for firing a gun at a private christening, according to the Philippine National Police. The incident stemmed from a misunderstanding between the police officer and another guest at the occasion. The Davao City Police Office said in a statement on Tuesday, "He's been arrested, and we will not tolerate that. He will be removed from the service, definitely," PNP Chief General Nicholas Torre III said in an interview over DZMM on Wednesday. "He is already a dead man walking in terms of service in the PNP," he stressed. The shooting occurred on Sunday evening in Barangay Los Amigos in the Tugbok district, according to the Davao City Police. Initial investigation revealed that the officer fired his issued firearm toward the ground following a misunderstanding with another guest, causing panic and distress among the attendees, the DCPO detailed. Davao City Police further said it filed criminal charges against the officer for discharging the firearm without authorization, a violation of Articles 155, Alarms and Scandal, and 254, Discharge of Firearms of the Revised Penal Code. The officer was also relieved from his post and had his service firearm confiscated while the investigation was ongoing, the DCPO added. A barangay councilor was shot and killed by an unidentified assailant in San Isidro, Abra, on Wednesday morning, police said. According to the investigators, the victim, Ronald Javier, 46, of Barangay Pantok, was driving his tricycle to Poblacion, San Isidro, to pick up a passenger when he was ambushed at 7:40 am in Barangay Dalamag. Police said the gunman, wearing a black hoodie and riding a motorcycle, fired 3 shots at Javier before speeding off toward Padigan, Abra. Responding officers rushed Javier to the Abra Provincial Hospital, where he was declared dead on arrival. At the crime scene, investigators recovered several spent shells from a .45 caliber pistol. A hot pursuit operation is underway to identify and apprehend the suspect. That's all for this week. I'll see you next Friday with more stories of corruption and foolishness within the Philippine government.